What's going on? Well, it's time to flatten this slab. So let me show you what I got. TruTrack sent me this gantry system. All right. And basically, they told me to build a couple of 57.5-inch 2x4 platforms that I can put the slab into. And then these rails just get attached to it. So I put a line on it, made sure it was pretty straight, made sure this other side was nice and straight. Okay. It took me a little time to set all this stuff up because it's really not my thing, right? I don't like to do this type of work. And so it actually took me longer to set up the table and get it flat than anything else because my floor is so bad, you know, but I just wanted to show you. That's a tremendous amount of material to take off. And I didn't mean to take that much off, but I went with the recommended bit that they told me to get. And it's really cutting this stuff like butter. So my first impression of this gantry is that it's wicked, wicked nice. Okay, you know, I mean, I put a drill on the end of it so I can move it around. You know, what I like about this being attached to that gear is that it doesn't bobble around. You know what I mean? So once I set it into place, it just cuts the line. Even if I'm only cutting like an eighth or a quarter, half-inch or whatever, it's pretty fast because I just move this thing around like this here. You see what I'm saying to you? So again, this is a TruTrack system. I think that it's nice. It's made right here in Ohio. There's a zillion videos on how to put this stuff together. So if you're interested in it, just go to their website or Google it on YouTube. That's what I did. All right. So I figured I'd just turn the camera on and let you see how this thing works. I mean, in all honesty, guys, look, it took me forever to set up the dust collection system. I know it's Mickey Mouse, you know what I mean? But hopefully it's going to work. Even if it, this is my Felder dust collection system. This thing is awesome. So yeah, look, even if it collects, say, half of what that thing would throw off, it's definitely worth setting it up because my shop is tiny. I know it looks really big, you know, here, but honestly, it's not that big. It's like the size of a 2-car garage, believe it or not. All right, well, let's get to work. Let's see how we did. All right. Well, you can see all the lanes from when I was going back and forth, right? It's really not bad, considering that I was taking off almost a half an inch, believe it or not. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. I didn't think it was that much. Let me get the old square-roo. All right. Just over 2.5. And down here, there you go. 2 3/16. So I took off quite a bit of material. And I got to say, the only thing that was kind of problematic is that the brushes are too low. So when I went backwards, see how the whole thing pops up a little bit? See? So if I were to do anything different, I probably would have just put maybe another piece of half-inch on that 3/4, so it was up a little higher. I may do that anyways. So what I plan on doing is just taking my time cleaning up all this stuff right here, going back. Because I'm sure once I pick it up a little bit, there won't be so much pressure trying to push it up. And then hopefully I'll get a cleaner cut. But overall, listen, I'm super, super pleased with the result I got from that bit, which is awesome. And the gantry. So once I get this thing cleaned up, what I'll do is I'll flip it over. I'll do the other side, and then I'll show you how I deal with all this, all these lines. Okay, what's up? Well, after I did all the router work, I broke that whole thing down to make some room in my shop. I cleaned up a little bit, so now let's see the result. Huh? Not bad. No burn marks, which is really surprising because typically I would burn the crap out of this stuff. But with that gantry, it was really simple. Now the further back I get, you'll see the lanes from the router going back and forth, and that's pretty typical. I suppose if I wasn't taking as much material off as I was, I was, I bet I was taking more off than what was recommended. So it bounced around a little bit, but it's not bad, really. It's way better than I expected. And inside here, I hit the surface with the 120 sandpaper with the oval sander. If I zoom in on it, you'll be able to see like the swirl marks and whatnot, right? But basically, the reason why I used the sander is because you can kind of see all the swirl marks from the router in the lanes. You see that? And it's just much easier to take it off aggressively with the sandpaper. And then I hit it with 150 down here. Then I used a card scraper. Not long either, just to clean it up to show you what the result is going to be. So like I said, a little more work across this whole tabletop, and I'm donezo. Next time you see it, it'll be ready for finish. So when you do this, right, what you want to do is get a buildup of dust, and then take your hand and you can kind of swirl around like this, and you will see, where the tear out is, because it'll be white. So I've already spent a ton of time doing that, and I just got to the point where I don't see any of those tear out marks. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. And the weird thing about figured cherry is when you sand it, it still looks like it has swirl marks, but it doesn't. That's just the way that the grain is. So if your eyes are playing tricks on you, just take 5 minutes, walk away, and come back. I think it's going to look unbelievable as soon as I apply that finish. Some guys like to go to like 4,000 or whatever, something crazy with the sandpaper. I was taught 150, 220 is really all you need to do, because you want to make sure that the oil or the finish has something to grab to. I don't know if it's true or not, but I believed them at the time. And it's been working for me for over 25 years. So last, I'll just come down the edge to make sure everything feels really good to me, because I don't want anybody to get scuffed. Wax on, wax off, baby. Okay, I'm ready. Let me. I have to get the old Dr. Jellyfinger gloves. Nice. Another thing you'll notice is that I didn't take any of the dust off. I leave it on there because it'll act as a grain filler. You with me? I hate these things. Wait, I think I'll start down this end. I just slap it on too, so. Nice thick coat. I'm gonna buff it all off anyway, so what's the difference? I actually like to do the edge last because it's dirty, and I don't want to get that dirt on the top of my tabletop. Remember my friend Mark from those videos way back in the day? He'd tell me to go in like circular motions to make sure you get it all in the grain, then finish off going with the grain. But this cherry is something else, huh? See? That's it. Nothing to it. But it's all about prep work. That's the most important thing. It's gotta. You saw me hit it with the TruTrack. I didn't burn it this time, which was nice. I sanded it all out. It took me a long time to get this result right here. Trust me. But I'm kind of accustomed to doing it at this point, and it's really this most satisfying part of what I do is seeing it for the first time like this. And when I do this, it gives me a chance to see if there's anything that needs to be fixed before it's done. This edge isn't very nice compared to what I'm used to, but that's okay. This is going to go up against kind of like the wall. This is the outside. This is like the edge of the end of the table where you're going to see when you first walk into the kitchen. This is going to be up against like a window seat, you know, a big bench, like a 12-foot bench. I like to know where my pieces are going to be going so I can adjust what I'm doing to fit the space. I'm always trying to be aware of where it's going. That's why my clients love me, to be honest with you. It's an intimate process. I'm just not banging out a table randomly for somebody and not caring how it's going to look in their space. I want it to be perfect. I want to see where the light's coming in so the light will bounce off of this the way that I want to accentuate the grain as much as it can, right? You get a workout.